Hello boys and girls, it's Mrs. Johnson, your art teacher, ready to do an art project with you guys. We are going to read the book called The Hello Goodbye Window, which as you can see has a medal on the front. This medal is for having the best pictures of a book for the whole year that this book was made. So as you look at the pictures in this book, I want you to think about what makes it the best out of all the books that were made that year. So looking at the front, I can see some of the art. There's a little girl looking through a window, and of course the story is called The Hello Goodbye Window. So we're going to do an art project right after we finish reading the story. So here we go. Nana and Poppy live in a big house in the middle of town. There's a brick path that goes to the back porch, but before you get there, you pass right by the kitchen window. That's the Hello Goodbye window. It looks like a regular window, but it's not. The kitchen is where Nana and Poppy are most of the time, so you can climb up on the flour barrel and tap the window, then duck down and they won't know who did it. Or you can press your face against the glass and frighten them. If they're not in the kitchen, you can't do any of those things and you have to wait until next time. If they see you first, they wave and make silly faces. Sometimes Nana peekaboos me, which always makes me laugh, so I get a lot of extra fun and hellos before I even get inside. Just look at the kitchen. It's so big. It has a table you can color on and lots of drawers to take stuff out of and play with. But you can't touch anything under the sink. You could get very sick. There are shelves full of glass jars with lots of everything in them, a step stool so I can wash my hands, and all kinds of pictures from the olden days. Nana says she even used to give me a bath in the sink when I was little. Really? Sometimes Poppy plays his harmonica for me. He can only play one song, Oh Susanna, but he can play it a lot of different ways. He can play it slow or fast, or he can play it sitting down or standing up. He says he can even play it and drink a glass of water at the same time, but I've never seen him do that. When I stay over, we have our supper in the kitchen too, and when it's dark outside, we can look at our reflections in the window. It works just like a mirror, except it's not in the bathroom, and it looks like we're outside looking in. Poppy says, "What are you doing out there? You come right in and have your dinner." And I say, "But I'm here with you, Poppy." And then he looks at me in his funny way. Just before I go up to bed, Nana turns off all the lights and we stand by the window and say goodnight to the stars. Do you know how many stars there are? Neither do I, but she knows them all. In the morning, the first place we go is back to the kitchen, and there's the window waiting for us. You can look out and say good morning to the garden, or see if it's going to rain or be nice. And you can see if the dog next door is doing stuff in Nana's flower beds. She hates that. Sometimes Poppy says in a real loud voice, "Hello world, what have you got for us today?" Nobody ever answers, but he doesn't care. Poppy makes breakfast. He says it's his specialty. My favorite is oatmeal with bananas and raisins that you can't see because he hides them down inside. I find them all. When I get dressed, I help Nana in the garden. It's a very nice garden, but there's a tiger who lives behind the big bush in the back, so I don't ever go there. I ride my bike too. Not in the street, please. Or collect sticks and acorns. Not in the house, please. Or just kick my ball around. Sometimes, when it's hot, Poppy chases me with the hose and I yell, "Stop it, Poppy, stop it!" When he does, I ask him to do it again. Nana just shakes her head. When I get tired, I come in and take my nap and nothing happens until I get up. Then sometimes I just sit by the Hello Goodbye window and watch. Nana says it's a magic window and anybody can come along when you least expect it. Tyrannosaurus Rex. He's extinct, so he doesn't come around much. The pizza delivery guy. Pepperoni and cheese. He knows that's my favorite. The Queen of England. Nana is English, you know, so the Queen likes to come for tea. They all could come, and a lot more if they want, and if they do, I'll see them first. Mommy and Daddy pick me up after work. I'm glad because I know we're going home, but it makes me sad too because I have to leave Nana and Poppy. You can be happy and sad at the same time, you know. It just happens that way sometimes. When we leave, we always stop at the window to blow kisses goodbye. When you look from the outside, Nana and Poppy's house has lots of windows, but there's only one hello goodbye window, and it's right where you need it. When I get my own house someday, I'm going to have a special hello goodbye window too. By that time, I might be a Nana myself. I don't know who the Poppy will be, but I hope he can play the harmonica. So that story was about a little girl who has a lovely time at her grandma and grandpa's house and the special window that's there that they spend a lot of time around. Now again, as you look in the art in this book, remember I told you this won the award for the very best art that year it was made. And if you look at the way it's painted, it almost looks like one of you guys could have done it. It's very bright, very colorful. It's kind of almost messy, but it looks wonderful, and that's the one that was chosen to be the best for that year. So it's kind of cool to see how art is all different, and that doesn't mean it's bad. There's just different ways of making art. So because of our award-winning book, The Hello Goodbye Window, today we're going to do an art project and make a window. You're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil and something to color with. Crayons, markers, it all works the same. But what we're going to do with your paper first is fold it a couple times. The first fold that we're going to make, I'm just going to take the top and bring it down to the bottom. And when we fold, we want to make sure our corners are lined up the best we can. Not like this, that's not a great lineup. That's better. And then I'm going to make a nice straight fold on the other end. This way is called the hamburger way. For some reason, someone decided this looked like a hamburger bun. I like to call it the book way or a card because that's the way we fold books or cards too. So we have it folded in half, but I'm going to go ahead and open it up again. It's open, but I can see the line where I folded. Next, I'm going to do another fold, and this time I'm going to fold it the other way, so long and skinny. And this way is called the hot dog way because it does look like a hot dog bun, so long and skinny. When I open that up, I now see my two folds that are across my paper, and it kind of looks like a window. So we're going to now take our colors, and what you can do is trace on the line that you just folded, up and down and across, or vertical and horizontal. Now it definitely looks more like a window, but this is pretty skinny, so I'm actually going to make it a little wider and go along the edges one more time. So it actually looks like wood. And here's a trick I like to do. If you have a couple different browns, this is something you can do too, is to make it look like real wood. It's called the wood grain. Make some squiggly lines with your dark. And then when you color in, find a lighter brown and go over top of that. And that gives it that texture that makes it look like real wood grain too. So once we get our window made and it looks like we're looking out and thinking about what we might see, I want you to think back to our story. So back to our book. And there's one part where she is imagining the different things she sees. So she sees a T-Rex out the window, the pizza guy who really could come, or the Queen of England, who probably wouldn't come to visit that house, but maybe. So when you draw what's out your window, it can be anything you'd like. Maybe you'd like to look outside and see a snowy day with a snowman. Maybe you'd like to see instead summertime with a beach and a lake that you could go swimming in. So I want you to draw out the window in these 4 squares. So I want you to think about what you might see. I have one that I was working on. I haven't finished coloring it yet, but you can see on this one I definitely went with something that's a little bit silly. So out my window I can see spaceships taking a cow up and the starry night sky out there. And then down here I was thinking about making, I don't know, maybe a lake, and maybe there's like an octopus coming out of there. So something that's more silly. Or you could make a nice mountain scene that shows just like a calm winter day. Whoops, my pencil's breaking there. So think about the different projects we've been doing in art class together and how you could use some of those with this project. So thinking about how you could show space or things getting further away. Think about how you could use some shading, and just be creative and show me what you see out your special window. And remember, it does not have to be real. So I can't wait to see what you guys create. Until next time, bye boys and girls.